Okay, excited to be here. Are you happy to be here? Are you happy to be in this beautiful space? Yes. Are you happy to be part of the Parents Innovative Education Seminar organized by FUNIC, which is the Fortabe University of Cameroon, or called Fortabe University Institute? Can we put our hands together? Your hands are not loud enough. I want you to really clap for yourself. You know I want you to clap for yourselves because you created time to be in this very important seminar. It's a very timely seminar. Coming on the eve, I would say back to school, because in less than 2 weeks, schools will be opening in Cameroon. And then we have this very, I call it transformative seminar. Others in their houses, they don't know how important this is. When we talk about education, we know what it's all about. When we talk about education, we're talking about future leaders. When we talk about education, we're talking about building economies. When we talk about education, we're talking about developing a country. So education is crucial for any child, for any parents, for any country, for any community. Can we put our hands together again? It's true that we are starting a little bit late. We are sorry about that. We're going straight into today's program, but I'll have to have a rundown of the program first so that we know what awaits us. Because we have a lot here in act for you. And the prayer is going to be said by Dr. Taco Ronald. Is he here, please? All right.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, Jehovah, this is an amazing place to listen to them and to share with them important information about education. Education is a very important aspect of our life. It's a very important know you well. That's why we are so concerned about the quality of education that Cameroonians receive. And our objective is that with time, Cameroonians throughout the world, throughout the country can be able to receive the kind of education that will help them to achieve their objectives, both spiritually, materially, and even emotionally. We want to thank you very much for
Dynamic girl, as you can see, and the final year undergraduate students. in cybersecurity, and a lot more. We'll discover more about her later. So tune the national anthem for us. And the promised land of glory, land of promise, land of glory, love, life, and joy are only souls. Thine the honor, thine devotion, and dependence forevermore. Thank you so much, Ivana, for that beautiful tuning of the national anthem. And I'd like someone to be on the field. Today we are learning, we're adding value. Then again, we're making it in a very fun-driven manner, excitement and everything. And I would like Madam Lucy to go there because she'll come in music, because she's going to be addressing us. And I want the DJ to give his speech, something special just for 30 seconds. And now we're going to be having a welcome address from Madam Lucy Eta Bade. She is the acting rector of the Cameroon Higher Institute of Entrepreneurship and Technology, where she ensures a smooth running, accessible, value-driven education and innovation. And we'll have a very dynamic lady, Lucy, that is making sure that the school stands tall every day. But before she talks, I want her to shake her body just for 30 seconds. We are learning for you to also make it fun, right? She has to shake. TJ. All right, she said she wants to dance, and don't you want someone to join her before she gives her a welcome address? DJ? Lady Pat. You're taking out stress, right? Thank you so much. DJ Tabo. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you. The founder of Fonika Cameroon Higher Institute. The founder of Fonika Cameroon Higher Institute of Entrepreneurship and Technology, distinguished speakers, dear parents, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. It is a great pleasure to have you all here today for this important Parents Innovative Seminar. We come together with a share and how it can empower you to succeed in the 21st century. As the world evolves with rapid technological and social changes, the education our children receive must also evolve. Today's youth need skills, mindsets, and opportunities that will prepare them not just for the jobs of today, but for the challenges and possibilities of tomorrow. Yet, too often, young people face uncertainty in making educational and career decisions because of limited guidance. This seminar has been designed to support you, our parents, you, our graduates, you, our partners, with the practical tools and fresh insights to better guide and empower yourself, your children. Dear parents, your role has never been more important in shaping the future leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs of Cameroon. Thank you for joining us, for your commitment to helping you thrive. Together, let us invest in innovative ed forever. Once again, welcome. much, Madame Lucy Eta Bate, who is the acting rector of NEC. We move over to something else. We're heading into business. And we're going to have a keynote address from someone very important. It's just unfortunate that he's not here because I know his power. He has a lot of power when it comes to leadership. When you hear his name anywhere, you want to rush and listen to him. He's called Dr. Roland Queman. He's not here, but he is an accomplished international trainer, coach, and leadership consultant with an extraordinary track record. He has trained and coached senior executives and leaders across Africa, Europe, and the United States of America and the Middle East, helping organizations achieve transformational growth. Our former world president of Junior Chamber International, the largest youth leadership organization in the world, Dr. Queman has inspired and empowered thousands, millions, let me put it that way, of youth globally through his company, Go Ahead Africa. He continues to design and deliver high-impact training programs for governments, corporations, and NGOs. His keynote innovative education for youth empowerment is in the 21st century will challenge and inspire us to rethink how education can prepare our children for a rapidly changing world. Now that's the theme of Dr. Roland Queman, who is far away from us, but is still very close to us. So we're going to listen because there's a video not be coming up. We just have to fix that way. I'm going to listen to the message from Dr. Roland Queman. Over to you.
This moment.
have to be here. He said something. If we fail to connect, if we fail with our children, something's happening. If we fail to connect with our children to understand their dreams, their frustrations, potentials, then we are failed. He says the innovative education seminar that we're having right now is very, very timely and comes to add value, relevance in parenting. And thank God that parents are here. The innovative education seminar that we're having right now is about mindsets, changing mindsets, adding skills, values. Can we clap again? This time around, very powerful. For the education system together, the role of all stakeholders, offering practical strategies to prepare young people for success in an evolving. Learning, we are having fun at the same time, adding value, right? And I'm not going to
And DJ, thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. I hope at the end of this I'm going to have my dance. Who is ready to dance with me? See, lots of people are ready to dance. Okay. Thank you very much, dear parents, for being here. Thank you, students. It's always a pleasure to talk with parents, especially, but students too. So I was asked to talk about innovating the education system, the role of all the stakeholders. This is what I'm going to try to develop in 10 minutes. How many of us have heard anything about the education system before? Is there anybody who has heard anything about the education system before? Can we have the other microphone?
Who wants a mic?
Okay. Dr. Tako has heard something about the education system. Tell us, what do you usually hear about the education system?
Cameroonians will always say that our education system needs to be overhauled.
Oh, overhaul. Say if we're looking at that word overhaul, we're saying that the education system has to be transformed completely, right? Now we're supposed to transform it completely, and that's what we're talking about overhauling. Thank you, Dr. Tako. So let's go to our presentation. Oh, there's another hand. Please.
It's compared that the education system of Cameroon is basically theoretical.
Okay. Thank you. We have all heard a lot of things. But there's something I'm curious about. Whose fault is it? What do you think? It's theoretical, it has to be overhauled. Whose fault is it?
Most people think the government is entirely responsible for that.
Okay. I think the government is responsible, but entirely we are going to see. Let's get into our presentation, please. Okay. You know, when we talk about innovating in education, I am sure you're asking yourself, what is it? What is innovating education in the first place? In the keynote address, you heard a lot of things already about innovative education. But here you can see from my slide, I have underlined some very key words. The first is new. Innovative education is education which is new. He said in his presentation that we cannot keep teaching the way we were taught. So it means change has to happen. New things are supposed to be introduced. So here we are talking about introducing and applying new ideas, well, not only ideas, but new methods, new tools to help us improve learning. Parents are here, and I'm happy that you're here so that together we're going to explore these new ideas, these new methods, these new tools. Something else about innovative education is that it's supposed to help people to rethink. The keynote speaker said innovative education is about changing mindsets. So we have to rethink education. Is it the fault of the government if we are not rethinking education right now? I think we'll think about that later. So it has to do with rethinking the way we teach, the way we learn. And of course, the most important thing about innovative education is that it responds to the needs, the changing needs of the environment. Because things will not stay the same. Things have not stayed the same, and things will not keep staying the same. So as things are changing, the market needs more different things. Employers are looking for different things. We as educators are supposed to be looking for different ways of teaching our children, right? We are supposed to rethink the way education is offered. We have to meet the needs. The problem we have right now, someone said education is theoretical, is because we are teaching the way we were taught, right? At that time it was okay. It was okay. But today things have changed and we have to change as well. So we have to respond to the needs of the changing environment. There's something I like about innovative education. It doesn't just give learners knowledge, because I think that we all have knowledge in here. We all have knowledge. But what is it that is a plus that innovative education brings is skills. Many people today, you meet young people who have graduated from the university, have knowledge, but they do not have skills. Do we agree? So they are not employable because they know, but they cannot translate that knowledge into anything which is tangible. So innovative education ensures that people have skills, they have values, and they have creativity. So let's talk about values. You know, this event was hosted at 6 p.m. When did you leave? When we have good education, we would develop the values that the world needs. And one of the values is respect. So respect for other people's time, respect for engagement, saying yes, and education helps our children to develop these values. You will agree with me that we don't have these values anymore. Young people today, I have been a teacher for about 2 decades, have no iota of respect anymore for anybody or for anything. To them, life is a joke. Life is fun. But we need to keep innovating to ensure we need these values. This is what innovation in education is about. So now that we know what innovation in education is, involved in innovative education. New teaching methods. New teaching methods. Someone said a while ago that usually it's theoretical. I have seen that you still find that lecturers get into class about the device, and then they leave the classroom and they go home. The worst thing is that they sell handouts. Handouts from the 1900s. And the students sit in class, they either buy the handout or the copy notes, right? Maybe that worked in the past. But today we are saying that what is included in innovative education is using new teaching methods. Like this. Making sure that there's interaction. Making sure that we can train students to think beyond just copying. Making sure that we can train students to solve problems, because the world has a lot of problems, and the only people who survive are the people who solve problems, right? There is no way we want to be entrepreneurs, we want to be employees if we cannot solve problems. Life is about solving problems. So what is included in innovative education is bringing in these new methods, and you're very honest. Do you see that in our classrooms? It's a question that we all have to answer. We have talked about new tools, we'll talk about the data, new structures, and like apprenticeship. Because the best way to acquire skills is by seeing how somebody does it and doing it too, right? It's not about telling, which is what characterizes our education today. We tell. Children do not see how things are done and do not try that. That's apprenticeship. And that's one of the things we do in FUNICA, so we're going to hear very soon, and of course, the changing mindsets as well. So this is what is included in innovative education. We'll move forward. Why do we need to even talk about innovative education? Why do we care? Why do you care to come here on a Sunday? Because as a nation, our young people face a lot of challenges. We can see them. We've talked about the curricula, which is usually outdated. We have what we call skills gap. It means that sometimes, even when our young people acquire skills, the skills are not what the market right now needs, because things are changing. And so you find that there are opportunities where you do not have people with the skills to fill those opportunities. Do you believe that? So in 2 decades, in about 20 years, I've interviewed about 3 million Cameroonians, and I can tell you that not up to 70% of the young people, graduates are unemployable. Not up to 70%, but all of them come brandishing their certificates. We have them as Cameroonians, we have a lot of certificates, right? But the issue is that there's that skills gap. And that's why we need to innovate in education. Of course, because there's a skill gap, there's unemployment, which is not new. But besides the challenges, there are also opportunities. If we do not innovate, then we will not prepare our young people to grab the opportunities that are there, because there are opportunities. Sometimes we just don't see them because we are not prepared. And that's why we need to innovate. There are opportunities. Technology, like you heard from your keynote speaker, has opened the world up to us. So I can stay in Cameroon and I'm working for a US company because I have the skills. So we need to innovate. There's entrepreneurship. There are African-centered models that we can use to transform businesses and organizations and communities. And the world has moved from competition to collaboration, but we need to be prepared for that. That's why we need to innovate in education. So let's get down to business to look at what the education system is. I am sure if I asked you what the education system, you talk to me about the government, like Danko said. What the government is doing to ensure that there is good education. But here is the definition by the World Bank about what the education system is. And I'd like to read it and focus on the key words. It says that an education system refers to the organized network of institutions, policies, resources, and stakeholders. So an education system is not government. It's not. It is a network of all of us, right? The institutions like clinic, like banks, like companies, all institutions, policies, of course, that's where the government comes in. Laws. Then there are resources, all kinds of resources, human resources, financial resources, natural resources, technological resources, all sorts of resources. And then most especially, what concerns us today here, stakeholders. So let's go forward to see something more about the education system. Now, our focus today, if you remember, we said we are going to be talking about stakeholders. What's our responsibility as stakeholders? But before we discuss the responsibility, let us look at the stakeholders in the education system. What do we see at the center of the education system? What do we have? It's all about students. And there are lots of students here. But the truth is that in a few years, the students will leave this center and become something else, right? Yes, they'll become parents as well, and other things. So if you look at the heart of the education system, we have the students, the learners. It's all about them. So if we're innovating around the students. It's about them. Because they're the ones to make the difference. Now we have parents and guardians. You. So you are stakeholders in the education system. So if Dr. Taco says we have to overhaul the education system, means that we have to overhaul parents, right? We have to overhaul parents. And then there are schools. Like all the other schools you know. But then we have policy makers, that's where the government comes in. We have businesses and employers that are part of the education system. So when businesses complain that the education system is porous, do they also have a responsibility? Yes, they do. We all do. And then we have local communities. And we have civil society. But there are two groups I want to talk about today. Very carefully. Let us look at the roles and responsibilities of the various stakeholders groups. I'll focus on two. Just the parents and the students. So you can see, you want to take snapshots, you can take and share this later. I'm not going to discuss all the others. I'll touch on them. But I want to focus on the first two. The students and the parents. Now what's the responsibility of you, students? in the education system, because we're learning that if the system is poor, you are responsible as well. You are. And the first point says, your major responsibility is to engage actively in learning. That active engagement starts from now. Now, if you just had your advanced level, it is now that you start actively engaging in learning. Not when you are in school already. What does this active engagement mean? It means that you will ask the right questions. You know now what innovative education is. You do, right? I just explained. Now, before you step into a classroom, before you go to a school, you need to ask them, what is innovative about the education you're going to be giving me? What's new? What are the new tools? How do you help me to rethink, to reshape my mindset? What do you do? Who teaches me? Because it's important. It's very important. Now, as you have that responsibility, that's how you start actively engaging in education. Don't follow the crowd. I'm an actor in this sector, but I'll say it without apologizing that there's too much noise in this sector, too much noise in education. I'm sure you have heard too. The noise is deafening. Now, do you follow the noise? If you do, then you are not actively engaging in learning. You are supposed to know better. A few years ago, I was talking to some young students in the secondary school and I asked in class, I said, so you're going to the university soon, and they're so excited, opposite. I said, what is it that you're going to be looking for before choosing a school? And one girl, I cannot forget her, said, Madam, I will remove this uniform, the first thing. And my schooler, if I'm going to a school, there is something that I need. I need the school to be so beautiful that when I take pictures, they will think that I'm in bush. No? She said it like that. While that was funny, it's sad. It's sad. Because that's how young people think, to take their pictures, right? Then what? So, as young people, you start engaging from now. Ask us the questions. Challenge us. As educators, ask me, what are you bringing? What's innovative in your teaching methods? Ask me. That's how you start engaging. Ask me that who is going to teach me. You know that our children spend a lot more time with their teacher than we do. So if the person teaching your child every day does not motivate that child, does not mentor that child, what's going to happen? They are going to destroy that child's mind. I have had teachers who come to class and they lament from when they start, they get into the classroom, to when they are leaving. They lament about the system is broken, and this, they tell you about their wives. Are those the people you want to teach your children? Young people, ask yourself, who will teach me? Who will mentor me? Because that's what it is. Engage actively. And when you are in school, you're not a passive observer. Many schools can let you get away with being a passive observer. You just come to school when you want. You sit behind there, if you like to take notes. If I have talked to you, you know that you cannot be a passive observer in my class. Right? How many of my students are here? You know you cannot be passive. You have to be actively engaged. That's how I can train you to rethink your mind, to rethink your life, to rethink where you're going. So get actively involved. Participate in learning. If there are opportunities to serve in school, get involved. Collaborate with other people. You have to learn. Now, most times, you as young people understand the system of education better than your parents. So if you do not ask the right questions, we don't expect your parents to. So don't tell me if I ask you after this and you want to go to a school where you can take beautiful pictures of people to think I'm bush. I live bush. Are you? You are here. But if you make the best out of the education, if you ask the right questions, you make the right choices, then you can find yourself in that bush that you so much want to be. Now we're done with the students, let us look at the parents and the guidance. You have a huge responsibility as well. Dr. Femen said you need to support learning at home. So you have to be the first mentors of your children. Do you read? What do you tell them? What? There was a young girl, she's still my student, I don't know if she's here. And we have a program which is apprenticeship, like I mentioned before. So we send our students out to go learn business from Igbo people. You know, Igbo people really know how to do business. So the whole semester, they were going out twice a week to learn from the Igbo people who are very open. They want to teach them everything about the business. And this young girl comes one day, I see her very sad in class. Then I find out from an administrator that the mother had called the administrator to ask that my daughter is always asking for extra transport fare to go to apprenticeship. What is this apprenticeship thing said? I sent her to school, come and sit in class and study, not to be going to do some apprenticeship. So when I heard that, I said I'll talk to the parents. And I asked the parent, is this the discussion you have with your children? You don't know the curriculum. Because even if you went to school long ago. Now I have the responsibility of teaching you this child. Let me do it. You see the discussion that we parents will have with our children. If we cannot mentor them by what we say, how we think, how we feel about things, what we expect from them. As parents, we have to be the first mentors at home to help the children to learn right. The second thing is that you have to be advocates, and I like this point a lot, for inclusive and forward-thinking education. Now, I said I have been a teacher in the classroom for many years, and I can tell you that I have not had 10 parents who have come to me to ask me, who are your teachers? How is your curriculum? How do you prepare these children for insertion into the job market? I have not had 10 of the millions of young people that I have taught. Do you know what the parents ask? How much do you fees? Have you seen our classroom? Is that what makes a difference? Parents, it is your responsibility to advocate for inclusive and forward-thinking education. Question us. Try to see. Don't get carried. Like I said before, there's a lot of noise. Okrika, you know Okrika? How many people know Okrika? You call it here Friperi. Do you know Friperi? Now they know. So it's Friperi that when you go to the market, what do they say? Senga. Sam, they make a lot of noise. This is education and we're not supposed to make noise. It's not the loudest noise that gives value. It's not. So parents, you must be able to recognize where value is and take your children there. Don't follow the noise. The noise is too much. Because at the end of the day, when you follow the noise, and then the child graduates, what happens? You start saying there are no jobs in Cameroon. But the fault is yours because there are jobs. I am an employer, I know that there are jobs, but our children are just not ready. And also because you don't take your responsibility as parents to make sure that we have the right education, because education is supposed to be relevant. So it's your responsibility. You are part of the governance of every school. So when we invite you, like we go to the parents, come. Let us talk. Don't stay home. Because you should come and challenge us. When I'm done with this, you should ask me hard questions. I'll answer. That's your role. So today we are seeing that parents and students are at the heart of our education system. Now, as teachers, I've spoken to you as a teacher, as a school. Of course, then there are businesses and civil society. So I want to ask you, now that you know your role in the education system, so surprisingly, people are smiling now because if they have to overhaul you, they have to overhaul you as well. But we should. It means that you have to change the way you perceive education and the students too. Okay, now we know what are we supposed to do. We are supposed to act, and the time to act is now. We all have a responsibility towards innovative education, and we have to move from being passive observers to become very active participants when you're children. And let us also mentor them. Let us do that. Because that's where success starts. Every young person needs a mentor. Help us to improve on our curriculum. Come and let us discuss that so that we can improve. And help us also to send these children to school. Send the children to school. Sponsor them. Don't keep them at home. Please. So the time to act is right now. And before I take my seat, there's something I was supposed to share with you. There is this quote that I like to share with you. This quote says that relevant education is not in walls or noise, but in people. When parents, teachers, students, and leaders think and act with intention, transformation can bloom, and the finest tools can be born even under an local tree. It doesn't matter where the student sits to study. What matters is who teaches your children. What is your role as parents? Are you playing a role? How do the students think? Do you understand government policies? Are you ensuring that your children go to the best school? Not where the walls are tall and are painted scarlet, but where the people can help them to transform their mindsets. Those are the questions you should ask yourselves. Thank you very much.
And we put our hands together for Dr. Fabio. Parents have to mentor them how to engage and engage very actively. You have to be very participative. You really need to engage. This education we're talking about, and education involves us. It's about us. We're going to move straight away to the second speaker. He is called Dr. Taco Ronald. Taco. He is a seasoned academic leader, lecturer in finance and accounting and data analytic expert. He currently serves as secretary of the board of trustees at Funmi Cameron Higher Institute of Entrepreneurship and Technology, and has held multiple key leadership roles of the institution, including finance officer, accountant, academic affairs officer, dean, and executive vice president. Through these positions, he has been instrumental in shaping innovative educational practices and promoting hands-on experimental learning beyond his administrative and teaching roles. Dr. Taco is deeply committed to community development and inclusive education. He has initiatives that promote opportunities for underprivileged students, bridging the gap between theory and practice, and the parents' innovative education seminar. Dr. Taco Ronald will serve as speaker and panelist, leading his on how practical
What do you think will happen? Now, unfortunately, this is what is happening to schools around Cameroon. So we take young people from high schools, we load them into classrooms, hundreds. Sometimes you go to a classroom, you find 700 people. One teacher, they are there, they are preaching to them, they are talking to them. Now, this is good because they live there, they have a lot of knowledge. They know a lot of things in their brain. But when it comes down to deliver, what's the result? They cannot. They cannot deliver good results. This is why hands-on education is very important. Now, where is the curse? This is why I said that our situation has a curse. And I rightfully said the education system. Because when I said this, I was talking about the parents and the students themselves, not the government. What's going on here? Now, if we look there, we see that our parents are advising us based on what was the reality. You had your A-level in 1990. Then you go down to university, you study theories, you still graduate and find a job. That was really okay back then, right? But now this is what has happened. So they who went to school back then, they graduate. They now encourage us to also follow what kind of education? Exam focused learning. So many of you here are doing the HND, and you agree with me that if you go to schools around Cameroon, what is the HND training students for? Is it to become professionals or to pass the HND exam? To pass the exams, right? That's why when results for HNDs are out, what are schools brandishing? They will tell you that their students have scored 100%. They have 96%, they have 92%. But they're not telling us that these students, by the time they're having the HND, they're already working. This is not what they're telling us. You see? So this is why this thing is a curse. Now what happens is that these children give, what's the level of their exposure to the industry? It's limited now. Now, a student who does an HND program will do internship for how long? 1 month now. That's 4 weeks. So in 4 weeks, what really can you learn? Can you learn to do anything tangible in 4 weeks? Now see what happens after that. These people without this exposure now again become parents. Right? So they have gone through that cycle. This one now, what would they also tell their children to do? But you see that it's a curse. Yeah? one has been going on for so long that the problem has now become extremely difficult to solve. You understand? But now, what's the solution? Because I said that we have a solution to the problem. And the government has done a lot to help in this solution. The government has introduced a concept which is called entrepreneurship education. But the problem is that schools do not know how to apply it. So schools have embraced it. They like it. But how exactly will they apply it? Now I want us to consider a case study of how this problem can be solved. Let's go to the next slide. So this is how we solve this problem. The case study we are going to use is for me. That if I could find another case, let me be honest, this is not a sales discussion. It's just that I could not find another case. This presentation was assigned to me like 2 months ago. And I told myself that I want to find a case which is not unique that I will use for this presentation. Unfortunately, I could not find it. So I have to now come just with a case study that I have. Now, FUNIC uses an amazing apprenticeship model. We call it Bizpreneurship. Bizpreneurship. How does this model work? Before we talk about hydraulics, remember that picture of the carpenter I showed, and I said that if you want to train somebody to become a carpenter, 2 things have to be done. Theory and what? Practice. So the apprentice is near the carpenter, and when the carpenter says, you see this nail, it goes into this kind of wood, then you will start doing what? Nailing. So this is really how it's supposed to be done. Now when you look at this model, you see 3 pillars there. What's the first pillar? Business. Second pillar. Third pillar. How do these pillars work? This is how hands-on education is supposed to be practiced. Now, in the business phase, what FUNIC does is that it takes students and hands them to Igbo people to work with them. And when these students go there are 3 things they are supposed to do. The first thing they are supposed to do is to observe how the business is done. When they have observed, they have to learn how it is done. And thirdly, they have to do it themselves. So they work with the business owners to know what to do the business. Now, most of these businesses are, we call them business people because they are doing trading. They buy products and then they sell these products to make profit, right? Where do they get the products from? How do they source them? How do they negotiate with customers? These are not things that will take somebody that will want to train to become a businessman. We'll put him inside a classroom and we'll start telling him every day. When you leave him, you let him go out there, he will not be able to perform, right? But if he sits with somebody who is doing the business, the person is selling material, Ankara, and he sees that this is how this thing is done, this is how they bring the material, this is how we attract customers, this is how we keep records, this is how we calculate what our profit is, this is how we go and save, and then we take this part to go and buy. This is how we manage capital. Yeah? Now let me ask a question. Most people, when they finish university and then they cannot find a job, their last resort is that they want to do business, right? Now they'll pitch their family that see, we have this business idea that we want to start, and we need money. The family will go and sell a piece of land. They give the young man the money to go and start the business. 6 months later, what will you hear has happened to the capital? They will say that business, their uncle promised them last year that nothing they do in this life will succeed. Yeah? They will say the market is so hard, they don't know that this line of business will be like this. It looks like the family needs to look for another money again so that they go to another line of business. But what really is the problem? Do they have the training that is required to do this business? Have they worked with someone who is doing the business already to see how it works? There is no magic in the thing. That's why FUNIC has this. The next we have is entrepreneurship. So here we are taking the apprenticeship model to go a little bit above just observing people do business. Now we teach students to solve problems and then to make money from that. Now if you look at the end there, you will see something which is red. Students who are FUNIC who are here will already recognize that. Before I tell you what that is, I want to just find out, if you want to prepare for an occasion, what would you need to do? You have to go to the market and buy flavor. If you want it to have maybe a pineapple flavor, you need to buy pineapple, you remove the peelings and add it to the flavor, right? Then you need to boil it, and then you wait for it to go what? To cold. When it is cold now, what will you do? You put it inside bottles, then you can put it in the fridge to cool, right? Now, students have FUNIC, they have thought about this problem. How do we get people to save time? Why would you should be able to even have an allocation tomorrow and don't worry about food. Just buy the food tomorrow morning, prepare it and put in the fridge. So they decided to make this powder food. When you buy it, you don't have to do anything. You just put inside water and start drinking, that's all. If you even have cold water, you just put inside water and you get what? Fresh milk. And you just start eating it. So all that process of going to the market, disturbing yourself, looking for pineapple and all of that is totally finished. So you see, it's not something that we don't put them in a classroom to start explaining to them that this problem is that can be solved. We gave them money. We say people should go and think about the business you can do. The students sat down in groups, they started brainstorming ideas. Then they came up with an idea like this one. They went to the market to buy. They made a lot of mistakes in the process. Lots of mistakes were made. But now what did they come? At the end of the program, if you take 200,000 and give them and say, think of an idea and to go and start the business, would they tell you that their uncle from the village was following them? That's why they did not succeed. They have gone through the process of identifying the problem and then creating a solution that can do what? Solve that problem. Now, we know that people on social media keep telling our children that no, if they are not entrepreneurs, they cannot succeed. A is working for C. They say a lot of things that are really not true. But the reality of life is that not everybody is passionate about starting and running a business. Everybody can have the skills to manage people and run a business successfully. Some people are passionate about working in companies, right? So we cannot leave this group of people out. This is where we have to look at people. I'm preaching to the person, you say this is how reports are made. This is how you're supposed to do presentation in front of the manager. And you never put the person in front of the manager throughout that study period so that they can do this thing. Will that person succeed? Now, what's the result? Because our training is not in Cameroon, is not done like this. We have close to 40,000 young people who graduate every day into joblessness. And let me tell you the reality, there are lots of jobs. There are lots of jobs, and I see skilled people who move from one job after another. Every 3 months they have a better job, they move to it. Every 3 months they have a better job, they move to it. But there are thousands, if not millions of others who are complaining every day that they cannot find job. Isn't this worrying? How do we correct this? We just need to implement this model in the entire country. I have said this vocally many times that I want other schools to copy what FUNIC is doing. Yes. They have our permission, they can come and see this thing. They would have even attended this seminar, they see this like this, they go and copy it. Because we know that on our own, we cannot train the entire Cameroonians. We don't have the resources to do that. So if other schools start copying models like this, it's going to do what? It's going to help the young people. But now that they are not doing it now, what do we do? The only option is to come to FUNIC where you can find real hands-on education like this. And let me make clear that that's why we don't struggle with HND results. We don't. Because when you know the practice of what you are writing, you don't even need to remember the theory. You already know it, you practiced it, right? And secondly, our students never graduate into joblessness. You wouldn't find a FUNIC student somewhere who is struggling to find a job. Instead, jobs are looking for them. They are moving from one job to another, one job to another. We have a student, Regina, she's just moving from job to job anyhow, carelessly. She sees this one this week, she sends her application, they call her for interview. So sometimes she's surprised because she gets the interview, all the questions they are asking, she knows what to say. She tells them exactly what they want to hear. And when they employ her, she overperforms. Why? Because of the preparation. Most of the students are graduating, they already have 2 years of working experience. They have 3 years of working experience. The ones who are young, they are just fighting. So, just like Dr. Fosabe said, these are the questions that we are supposed to ask. In my entire time, I worked in the administration of Fosabe University. Not one parent. My role dealt directly with parents. It means that I was the connection between the parents and their children. Parents visited my office every time, and their biggest concern was, okay, your building is too small. We want to know where the building is bigger. Not one parent asked that, can I please see the syllabus for accounting? Can I know what these children are going to learn? How would you ensure, what's your strategy to ensure that as they are exiting like that, they're not staying at home? Not one parent asked. So I want to say that this seminar is not organized to attack the parents, no. It is to bring to light the realities and to help parents understand that they have a role to play to ensure that their children choose the right education. So how does hands-on education really transform students? The first one is that it equips them with practical skills, not just what? Knowledge. See, the fine thing is that if you have the skills, then you also know the theory, because the two go together. If I know how to put together the thing, it means I can explain to somebody theoretically how to do it. So let's not go to places where the focus is on theory. It empowers the students to create jobs and to get jobs. So let them pick they want to choose. Do they want to create employment or do they want to get employment? Whichever one they choose, they should succeed. The third is that it builds their confidence and gives them independence. Because the tragedy that we have, and this is why I say it's a case. We have hundreds of graduates who are leaving schools to go back to their parents' home. You cannot leave home, you travel out of town, you go to the university, you graduate, then you return back home and you start staying home for 9, 10 years. It doesn't make sense. It shouldn't happen. So we help students to build confidence and independence. And finally, we make students truly employable even in the global landscape. Our students are proud of this. They can find jobs anywhere, not just in Cameroon, even out of Cameroon. We have students who are working in US companies from Cameroon. They are working online and they are earning a living from that. So this is the true power of hands-on education. My final message is to parents and to students. Dear parents, please choose an education that connects your child with the realities of our world. The entire world is now going artificial intelligence. Is your school following that trend? Your child's school, is it following that trend? Is it teaching them how to use artificial intelligence tools to catch up? For example, now there are AI tools that somebody who has never learned how to build an application can use plain English to build an engineers. Are you sending them to schools that will help them to use these AI tools to their advantage? If you are not thinking like that, then there's a problem. Students, please, the decision to study is yours, not your parents. Your parents can advise, they can guide, they can mentor, but the ultimate decision for what you want to do with your life is yours. Schools are good. But the content that an educational institution provides and the possibility of acquiring real world skills that do not just matter today, but will also matter in the future, is very important. It's extremely important. Thank you very much.
We are here to transform mindsets. As students, we grab a lot of opportunities. The place is here, you are the right place. And the workshop is all about parents' innovative education. I'm sure we are learning a lot already. Are we learning?
Yes.
Are we learning?
Yes,
I can't get a
yes.
positive response.
Yes,
Are we?
Yes.
All right. Are we going to ask for that? I've learned a lot. I'm leaving this place so transformed. I know you too. And Dr. Ronald has said a lot of things. We are looking for solutions, and I know we have our solutions. And when we leave this place, we have solutions to education. So this form is out there. I know parents are here. The right places at the Fortabe University. I've said a lot. I'm not adding anything again. You've heard already. So before I leave this place, please, just take the form right behind there and just apply. And see how you really transform the children, even those of your neighbors, communities, your nation, and Cameroon. So can we clap for Fortabe University? The next person I'm calling on stage, he's a speaker, he's a moderator, he's everything. I don't know I can call his name. He's a very... He's called Dr. Bene Bumangana. He's editor-in-chief of CRTV Television, one of Cameroon's most respected voices in journalism and broadcasting. A seasoned media leader, he has inspired and mentored a generation of young journalists. Through his professional dedication and commitment to telling stories, authentic African stories. Known widely for his passionate football commentaries, particularly on the matches of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, Dr. Ngana has become a household name whose voice resonates across the nation, uniting millions through the power of sports and storytelling. In addition to his major leadership, he is a part-time university lecturer where he continues to serve as a mentor to his students, shaping future broadcasters and communicators with the same passion and integrity that define his career. Can we put our hands together for a Dr. Bene? And let's be talking about the role of media in innovative education. Let's clap for him again.
Thank you very much. Okay, Dr. Posabe is there, Dr. Tako is there. Please don't expect me to talk as well as Dr. Tako spoke. He was so nice until I was wondering if I should even come and speak again. You know, when you listen to somebody who is very interesting and very strong, you start asking yourself questions, especially don't go for like too deep. And then if you have people who give you deep insights, like Dr. Potabe, please clap for the speakers. Please, let's practice some amount of standing ovation. You know what standing ovation is? When the speaker finishes, don't sit down and just clap. It's like, you know. I mean, let's behave like we're in the Western world, okay? We do standing ovation, we stand up and we clap for him. We tell him that he's the best. Okay? We are going to do a little panel discussion on the topic that we just had, where they will want me to talk to you a bit about the role of the media in innovative education. That will be just in a few minutes. Now, when we talk about the media, this beautiful lady already is a media person. I don't know. She's talking about it. We're talking about radio, television, newspapers, and now we have what they call the nouveau media, what we call social media, internet, all that. It's a combination. That's what is called the media. One is medium, two is media. Now, but they have a role to play in innovative education. The role they have to play has to do with their programs. The role of the media is to inform, is to educate, and is to entertain. But the problem is that most media organs have focused so much on entertainment that they have forgotten their role of education. That is why today Trace Television gets many more, gets the audiences than any other television. You have Trace Urban, you have Trace Africa, you have Trace Mboa. What is the next word? Trace.
I think there's Trace, is it well?
There's Trace Nigeria.
There's one of them.
So if you go to television and you check it, you see Trace. All what they give you there is entertainment. Now, there was a study that revealed that Trace Urban was losing audiences to Trace Africa because the world was beginning to go so much for African music. Because African music was more rhythmic. There was plenty of rhythm in African music. But the white man sings in one kind of style. But that is not all, I'll tell you why. Trace Africa started showing a different kind of Africans, especially as physiology is concerned, feminists, you need to forgive me. If you watch Trace Africa, the kind of girls that they're showing there is unique. If you are one kind of girl that is too flat and, you know, everybody's they found some there. So, because of that, now they appeal for people. A lot of people want to go to Trace Africa because of what they are going to see. They see a different kind of people. To the extent that the kind of music that goes on Trace Africa, if it does not meet on certain kind of categories, it wouldn't go on Trace Africa. There's a Bikusi singer in Yaoundé, I don't want to call his name. I asked him once, j'ai dit à mes grands frères, pourquoi est-ce que depuis là, tu n'as même pas un truc qui passe à Trace Africa? Il dit que bro, je suis fait. Avant que ta chanson ne passe à Trace Africa, il faut respecter, il y a des choses qu'il faut respecter, des cahiers de charges qu'il faut respecter. Et then la dernière minute, elle m'a dit, quand toi-même tu tapes un truc à 7 minutes, tu penses que ça va passer à Trace Africa comment? Davido plays I'll be on the phone calling you tonight, it's not up to 3 minutes. Oh, you don't know the song, eh? But television stations are supposed to give you programs that will help you, cultivate you, teach you, and make you grow. But unfortunately, the media in Cameroon are not doing enough of that. CRTV has opened 3 channels. CRTV has CRTV News. It's for information purposes. CRTV has CRTV Sports. It's for entertainment. And then CRTV has the main CRTV, where there is a mixture of everything. As far as innovative education is concerned, you need to go to CRTV, the main channel, to be able to catch a program at one point, which is going to be able to carry you through what Dr. Fotabe and Dr. Tako has said already. Now, Canada, for example, has the main Canada, it has the Canada Cinema, right? Dash Television has the main Dash Television, and then has Dash Music, which is almost like Trace, and sometimes it's very good. You listen to it, you watch it, it's very, very good. But if you are old school like me, I watch CNN, I watch BBC for information purposes, and then I watch sports channels. Now, if you go on most of these television stations, you're not going to get so much about innovative education. That is where the new media comes in, what they call it, the new media, internet. You can go on YouTube and you are going to follow lessons that will teach you so many things. We interviewed a producer, music producer. When you listen to most of this Cameroonian music, at the end you see that we take another shot. You know, talk to me now, why are you behaving as if? We take another shot. But then you watch another one, it ends, it says that Ada shot it. We interviewed Ada, who is the husband of Sanju Nanga. So, Ada tells us that a lot of things that he has learned is on YouTube. So he will go to YouTube and follow lessons. If he wants to get a lesson on how to improve sound, he will go to YouTube. I have learned how to protect my phone and build protection on my phone all from YouTube. Last week my phone was hacked. I learned from YouTube how to create what they call two-step flow. I learned from YouTube how to create a two-step verification. I learned from YouTube how to do that. Nobody taught me. So you can go to YouTube as a student and learn many other things that will help you be more productive. You cannot sit in a class, they tell you about Bubinga, they tell you about Iroko, they tell you about Bompachi, they're talking about different kinds. And then you have never seen. The moment they finish, take your data, open it, and they will show you, you can see it. We're going to talk about it in the panel in the next few minutes. But when I was doing geography in school, there was fishing in Taiwan or something.
In Norway.
Fishing in Norway. There was what again? Shipbuilding in Japan. There was car building in Detroit. Forestry in Sweden. Let me ask you a question. so many countries. I'm yet to go to Norway. To go and see fishing in Norway close to 30 years after they taught me fishing in Norway. Dr. Fotale, how innovative is this thing? If you go to Japan and you go to China, they don't sit down and are teaching you the shipbuilding in Detroit. When are you going to go to Detroit? My grandfather did not go to Detroit and they are teaching me fish building in Detroit. When are you going to go there? That is why what they have done is that they have already done simple. They are rethinking their education. They are reorganizing their education. They are teaching you hands-on. If they say that computer has a hard disk, computer has this, they show you that this is hard disk. If they say that you have to do this, they show you this. Now, most television stations will not give you that. Most newspapers will not give you that. Most radio stations will not give you that. So you have to go to YouTube because it is available in YouTube and learn it for yourself. And above all, you don't only go and learn it, you cannot prepare your own video. So let me teach you how to make money, eh?
Yeah.
You cannot prepare your own video on how to braid. Those of you who do Bakala, you can do a good video on how to braid. Now, if you want to braid, take the mesh, do it like this, and then you braid, and then you braid, and then you put it on YouTube. In the next 2 weeks, you're going to have 1,000 views, 2,000 views. Before you discover it, you become a big man in braiding. Just braiding. Innovative education. I don't know what I'm going out, I'm still within it. A lot of people who have studied PhD, you came back from, after studying in Europe, you came back. But a lot of people who have studied for PhD in Africa, when they want to go abroad, they go and learn the jobs that you call mean. Where I used to go and shave, I used to go and see one guy, I know the guy graduated from university. I think he has a master's or a doctorate. I said, bro, every day I come here, what are you doing here? He said, bro, I learned how to shave. You learning how to shave? Why? He told me one day that this is the truth. I have to go. And when I go to make life, to make ends meet, I'll be shaving. And it is not a lie. They shaved me in the UK and they paid close to £50 or something if I'm not making a mistake. £50 is about 35,000 francs. Just to shave. The family I was living with, the mama there was telling me that for me to do my hair, I have to book online, wait until the day they tell me to come. I go on that day and I'll spend about £100. £100 is about 85,000 francs. The things you consider to be millionaire here is paying money. Outside, my elder brother is breaking my head that he wants to go to Japan. Do you know what he wants to go to Japan? He wants to go and drive camion. Because it gives money. Now, television will not teach you that. You have to try to see how to make good use of television. Telenovelas is for housewives and nannies. When you go to work, parents are here. You leave the nanny at home. At 11 o'clock, after she has gone and finished buying, she's watching telenovelas. Rogelio. So if you want to get the best out of TV, you need to be intentional. You should know what you want to watch and how you want to watch it. My children know that whenever I come to the parlor, everybody's like, we put CNN. Because that is what I'm watching. I don't watch Trace TV, except I want to find out that information. So you must know what you want to get, so go for it. A lot of you here are on TikTok. How many of you know that TikTok can only propose to you what you have been watching before? If every day I go to TikTok, I see a woman dancing this way, and then I stay and watch, the next time I come on TikTok, TikTok will know that this person likes the women dancing. So all what TikTok will be giving me are women dancing. And because you like it, for the next 30 minutes, you'll be watching. Your data gets finished, you buy more data. You watch. Your data gets finished, you buy more data. You watch. But at the same time, there is somebody on TikTok who is following a guy who is doing some development and is helping the person. So how you use the media is not the fault of the media, it's your fault on what you have chosen to watch from the media, and that's how it impacts you. Thank you very much for that.
You're taking your seats. Okay. Can we clap again for our Mr. Guru? Except the vaccine. It's not easy. Bene Bumangana is a big name in the media industry. I can't lie about that. I'm sure some of you have seen him for the first time. You are permitted to touch him after this, okay? But I mean, you can get some of the knowledge and everything. So, Dr. Bene, let me correct it, Dr. Bene Bumangana is going to be the first panelist of speakers. Over to you. Let me not steal your time.
Thank you very much. You followed the discussion from Dr. Elvin Fortabe and then Dr. Taco Ronald. That was quite interesting. But now the question, let's start with you, Dr. Elvin. The question is, young people are here watching, and even their parents are here watching. American fans, when you talk to them, they want to study geography, history, English language, linguistics. I think the problem begins from there. What decisions to make after A levels, or what decisions to make from when you are at O levels? What would you say about that?
Thank you very much. That you can switch anytime. So you can read whatever you read at the O levels, at the A levels, and go to the university will change completely. But then the important thing is that as students and parents, we have to know from now what is going to help us to make an easier choice when we get to the university. So it is everything we have said, it's everything you have said, it's everything Dr. Tako said, it's everything I said. Let us look for skills. So when we are contemplating education, we should be looking for education which is relevant. Relevant education is education that responds to the needs of our environment. So geography is not bad. But does it respond to our needs now? Is that what Cameroon needs now? That's the issue. So when we're in school, you're thinking the ordinary level, you're thinking of what to do at the advanced level. Ask yourself, this thing I want to study, this choice I want to make, is it relevant now? The second thing about relevance is, can my parents afford it? Some young man told me once that he wanted to study some aviation, some engineering in aviation, something. And I said, oh, have you identified the university in Cameroon? He said, no, the university is abroad. Then I said, what do your parents do? He said, my parents work with the government. I said, you think that they'll be able to afford that? The truth is that many of the young people dream, it's good to dream, but look at the realities of this economy, look at the realities in your family. What is it that your family can afford now? What is it that can put food on your table? You heard about shaving and braiding and all of that. Of course, that's what we are saying you can do every day, but look at what is it that can help you to gain the skills that can help you get inserted into the job market.
No, the question comes back. Somebody who has already started on a particular track, I'm sure that after listening today, they go back home and stay like, I need to think again. Is it possible to make a U-turn? And if you are doing a U-turn, what should you take into consideration?
Sure. Like I said earlier, it's very possible. By the way, I should say something. Dr. Tako said the government is doing a lot of things to help us fix the education system. So one of the things is that when you leave the advanced level and you want to get into the university now, especially with the higher national diploma, you're not restricted by what you read at the advanced level. So if you read, don't know what, history, computer engineering, You can, because we have modern teaching tools now that can help you to succeed in computer engineering. I, for one, actually read,
History is your friend.
like me, but he's a journalist, I'm not. At the undergraduate, I read business administration. So there's that possibility of moving, because I'm insisting, because here we don't really have a lot of A-level students. We have who have passed, but even your younger ones at home, tell them they are not restricted. You can always move to something else which is more relevant today. And that's why we are here. We can give you the guidance, we can help you. But if you are still thinking of doing the advanced level now, then start thinking of what is it that can help you to easily scale through the university, like the ICT and the other things. But then I should say again, please, you're not limited. The world of education is very open today. You can learn anything from high school and learn anything at the university. Don't limit yourself. Don't say that because I read chemistry, I cannot do business. No, you can. You can. And that's why we are there to guide you through that.
Dr. Tako, when you were speaking, you mentioned businesspreneurship, entrepreneurship, and intrapreneurship. Three very, very strong concepts. The question is, what should you take into consideration? I see parents here, and then I see other students. What should we take into consideration before making strategic decisions?
What should be taken into consideration is what the child is passionate about. And the second question to ask right after the question is if that passion is going to give that child the skills that the market is asking for. So passion alone is not enough. So we need passion plus skills that are relevant to the market now, and maybe even in years to come. Because when we are looking at choosing a career, the world is obsolete. So you need to select programs that will give you skills that cannot easily run out because the landscape is changing. So there are two things: passion for what the child is going to do, and then the relevance. So if I'm passionate about history, for example, but I see that history is not relevant right now in Cameroon, then that certainly is not a good choice. So passion alone is no longer enough. It's passion, then the skills.
Maybe what has disturbed Cameroonians is what we call the civil service mentality. Let me just go and study. After my A-levels, I enter ENS or enter something, and after that I start teaching. And they send me to 4 hours, and then life gets balanced. How can we break out from that mentality? You call it a curse, but it's a kind of situation that keeps people at a certain level. They don't go past. People don't want to expand. They don't want to break out of themselves. How can we break out of that cycle?
It's ensuring that people have the right information. People have to get connected to information. Let's talk about ENS, for example. Every year, the government is reducing the number of intake. So, for example, you go to a field like geography, and they want just 2 people to undertake that field. In some fields, they want just 6, but you have 10,000 people applying. So, what happens to the remaining 9,998 people who are not selected? So, parents have to understand it's not possible. So, we cannot continue with that same mentality of thinking that, okay, I'll just go to school, study my theories, I have my certificates in hand, then I'll try to write a concours. You can write a concours. There are people, I know who have written concours from when they were 20 years, right up to the last, the age limit is 2 years, and never succeed. And now they become very frustrated, they start blaming the government, they start saying that there's no job. That's 12 years you wasted. You would have learned a skill, you would have, look for a passion, something which is relevant, and that's selling right now, so that you can set yourself up. So we have to make sure that we can educate parents. And that's why I appreciate a seminar like this. To help parents to understand that we need to get out, it's a trap. Once we are not in the right information, we'll make the same mistakes. We'll make it with our children. Our children will make the same mistakes with their children. And you find that this loop is going to continue. I said earlier that this is not something that started today. It's a loop that started back in the 80s. And that loop has continued because we have to break it with information.
Let's try to break maybe you or Dr. Otabe can answer. I'll take one or two questions before we close the panel. But let's try to do a kind of brainstorm. We're talking about, identifying some areas which can be very, let me use the word creative, that can make you to work and, give you something. From your studies, Dr. Otabe, from your studies, Dr. Tako, which are some of the big areas that you think, with a lot of training from FUNIC, especially, those who get out can make it big and then can, become great.
Biased. Now look at me. For example, I read business administration, and I don't need anybody to employ me. I don't need anybody to. Because I can create employment for myself anytime of businesses. So reading business is very interesting. Trade. That's what the Otaka was calling the apprenticeship. Trade is everywhere. It's every day. It's every time. There is an exchange. So people just need to learn how to trade. And trading is not only physical trading. I'm sure you know that there's online trading. There's crypto. Now there's online trading. So learning to trade is also very important. And we are launching a trade school this year, which is practically for that, to teach people how to trade. Not only locally, but international trade and online trading as well. But there are other sectors that are emerging, especially if you want to stay and work in Cameroon. One of them is agribusiness. We always hear people say that the soil does not fail us. But it's not just farming. It's the business the farming which is important. Because there are a lot of farmers we see around who are still and consume the tomatoes, but they didn't know that they can grow to some and make more money, because that's where the money is management. So that's another field, and we also have that too. Another field that's
very important. The learning aspect comes in. This is where the studies comes in, because you can be doing something, but the issue now is not the thing that you're doing. It is how they say in French, rentable. How do you say that in English? It's how profitable you get from what you're doing. I am a journalist. Where's Maureen? Who have been Maureen has more money than me? Because probably Maureen knows how to make more business out of the journalism than probably I do. It is how you make business for what you do that gives more profit. Is that so?
Exactly. And that's why, just to add to what Dr. Otabe already said, without looking at the specific trade someone can take, there are some basic skills that if you go to school, you should have. For example, you should be able to sell. There is no magic, there is no way you are going to run a business that if you don't have a skill set to sell. You should be able to use a computer and a smartphone very well. These are skills that you need, and that should be provided in universities. It is done in universities abroad. Why can it not be done in Cameroon? We are doing it at FUNIC. So students must know how to use their phones, they must know how to use laptops, they must acquire basic sales skills, they must learn how to negotiate. These are soft skills that you cannot do without. So because the world is changing so much that I can read accounting, but I find myself tomorrow working as a banker or working as a public relations professional. And now those professions require mostly soft skills. I need to be able to negotiate well, I need to be able to represent my company well, I need to be able to speak very well in public, I need to be able to talk persuasively. So in addition to what Dr. Otabe said, we need to add these soft skills there so that irrespective of what you're doing. So just like you're saying, I can be a good journalist, but I don't know how to sell my journalism profession well. I don't know how to sell that skill so that it now becomes monetized and I can make money from it.
Well, thank you very much. Let's see if we can get one or two questions. The experts are here to answer your questions. Just two, since I'm very gender sensitive. I'm going to take a question from a man, and then I'm going to take a question from a woman. Any questions? Parents, you can ask questions. Yes, ma'am. Please, you tell us your name, and then you can ask your question.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Karen Catherine. I have a question for Dr. Gabesh, who's talking a lot about education and the new forms of education that are available. We hear about AI a lot, and I, for one, am in the tech sector, and using AI for education is something that I encourage our kids, our users to use. But on the other hand, I'd love to have your opinion on the matter. What do you think about children being very dependent on AI to the extent that some people may think that let's say, I don't know if I'll call it an abusive use of AI will make them not to think for themselves, and especially the tendency of maybe a kid having an assignment and thinking, let me just go to maybe ChatGPT, put in the question and get the complete answer. And in our time when we were in school, we do research, we try to think about it ourselves, we write down, we think and stuff. But today, AI literally gives you everything. So while we're talking technology incorporating all of this in our education system, how do we help put the balance for our kids while they're studying with their own new technology?
Thank you very much. That's a very important question. I'm sure when you were asking, my students were laughing. Because usually I tell them that my exams can be open book exams. So they can use their books, they can use their phones, they can go on ChatGPT, they will fail. So as educators, we know that there is this issue. And this is why I was talking a lot about the method of teaching. When teaching is focused on problem solving, AI does not help. AI does not help. So when I give them a question and it's a real case, for example, the questions I will give them is what they have done. So they go out, they do their apprenticeship, and they have to come and tell me how that apprenticeship went, what they learned, how they can apply it in a real life situation. AI cannot answer that question. There is no way. Now when you ask ChatGPT, ChatGPT will give you some kind of answers that will not reflect that reality. So I tell them, use it. Even when I'm supervising students, I tell them what AI can do for you is to be your section. So think, plan your work, and tell AI type it, develop it for you. But it is me who thinks about it. That's the best AI can do for you. If you're thinking that AI should come and help you go through the education, especially in phonics, it will not work. But now this question is very valid because, like you said before, education around here is very theoretical. I'm sure anybody who has gone to the university here knows that there are some questions that some particular lecturers have been asking students for the past 20 years. The same question, word verbatim, doesn't change. Now, in that kind of scenario, it's easy. You take the question, you ask ChatGPT, it gives you an answer, and you're okay with it. So I am one of the persons who would say students need to use artificial intelligence in education, yes, but educators need to help to strike that balance, to help them understand the limits of artificial intelligence. And I tell them, everything that ChatGPT gives you is what someone has given ChatGPT. Using ChatGPT, and I was asking some questions, and at one point, I was talking with him, and I said, I want to see how ChatGPT responds to this, and I said, I am sorry I put this instead of this. ChatGPT said, I am not human. And I took a screenshot and I said to him, now look at what ChatGPT is saying, because that's the truth. Everything that you get from ChatGPT is what someone has put in. Now, so if people put in garbage, what do you get? So ChatGPT does not replace your brain, your mind. It doesn't. But at the end of the day, we know that as young people, we want la facility, as they say. So who is supposed to make sure that that balance is achieved? The educators. We will teach. the kind of methods. That's why I was talking about problem solving. Not coming every day and giving the notes and asking them to reproduce what they are doing because they will abuse it. So it is very possible to strike that balance, but that's what that the educators are supposed to do. And of course, even the parents, we have to continue to remind them that ChatGPT is there, AI is there, but AI does not replace you. It does not replace the emotions that you even put when you're answering questions. Because when I read a script, I know if a student has thought about that response or it's just mechanical. So we have to, as parents and as educators, continue to let the children know the limitations of artificial intelligence, but of course, also the blessings. And one of them, I always say, is speed. Is speed. You can do a lot within a very short period of time. But you know, the secret is that it is the prompts that you give ChatGPT that will give you responses, right? So if you ask ChatGPT rubbish questions, what would you have? Rubbish responses. So you see when your mind, you're still supposed to work on developing your mind as a human being, because that cannot be replaced by AI.
So, official reception of let us keep clapping. You know who you are. You raise it up. So you start and clap. The clapping has stopped. We have Madame Lucy Eka Bate. She is the acting director of the Cameroon Higher Institute of Entrepreneurship and Technology, where she ensures the smooth running of the institution while advancing its mission of accessible, values-driven education and innovation. She is a coordinator of focus units, flagship orientation and career mentorship program, which equips students with the guidance, tools and networks they need to make informed career choices and succeed in today's evolving job markets. Beyond a role at FUNIC, Madam Bate serves as the Secretary General of the Association for the Promotion of Decent Work for Women and Girls. In this capacity, she drives programs that provide scholarship, mentorship, and entrepreneurship support to women and girls, empowering them to build sustainable livelihoods. These are the Parents Innovation Education Seminar. Madam Lucy Eka will serve as a speaker and panelists under the theme overview of the FUNIC mentorship program vision, structure, and impact. We put our hands together for Madam Eka. We don't know they are coming clap their hands. You have the floor.
Thank you.
5 minutes.
Yes, thank you. 5 minutes. I know that it has been a long evening, but this is the last presentation, so don't worry, we are leaving soon. Okay, so I'll be talking about FUNIC's mentorship program. When we were in high school, especially upper six, we all had a dream. We dreamed that after advanced level, we go to the university, probably spend 3 to 4 years. And after that, we are going to hit a very big job where they are going to give us a service car, a huge salary. We are going to get married to that very beautiful woman or that handsome guy, and then we'll live happily ever after. That's the dream we have, right? But is that the reality? How many of you know graduates who have left universities and they are unemployed? Just raise your hands. Maybe they are your siblings, neighbors. They are everywhere. And that's why we have FUNIC mentorship program. The aim of this program is to change the stories of graduates. And we believe that we need to start early, even before you enroll in the university. And we're going to see why. Now, why we need this mentorship program, we have basically 2 reasons. The first is career alignment. Most of the time, graduates or students choose programs that does not align with the business environment. They choose programs that we don't need in our business environment, and at the end of the day, they will definitely become unemployed, right? That's why you see a student after spending 3 to 4 years in the university will go back again to study something else because they have realized that that career does not sell in our business environment. When we talk about career alignment, I would usually say that our careers is like marriage. It's something you want to do for the rest of your life. So you need to match with your career. But most of the time, before we choose careers, we study our personalities to make sure that our personality matches with the career. Imagine if you say you are a marketer, everything about you will show that you're a marketer from the way you talk. But if you are an introvert, you're quiet, we know that you're not a marketer. Now, another need that the mentorship program is trying to solve is workplace readiness. This statistics is not from me, it's from the World Bank, that every year we have more than 10 million graduates. And in every 10 graduates, only 2 to 3 are employable. It means that in every 10 graduates, only 2 to 3 are really ready or eligible to work. And this is because, number one, they lack working experience. In most schools, students don't work while they study, so they leave no working experience, they cannot work. Another reason is because they lack the right working attitude and they lack soft skills. So it is because of this need that we created the mentorship program. And the mentorship program has been existing for 9 years now. And we have just decided to change the structure of the program this year because of the need of the market. Just go to the next slide. This video is a 60 seconds video. It will help us to see what we have been doing so far for the mentorship program for the past 8 years. Please. So like I said, the mentorship program. When we started the mentorship program, it was a group mentorship. We'll get high school students all around Cameroon, 100 of them. We'll put them together in a particular location for 1 week maximum. And then we are going to mentor them. We are going to train them on leadership, career readiness, entrepreneurship. That's what we have been doing for the past 8 years. But as we're talking about innovative education, we have realized that this is no longer working. And now we have a more personalized mentorship program, a one-on-one mentorship program where we involve the parents, the school, and it's no longer a group mentorship, but it's a one-on-one mentorship program. And that's the structure. The structure is the personalized mentorship program. Parents are involved, the schools are involved, and it's done for a comprehensive 12 weeks. So if you're here, you need mentorship, you should definitely get to us after this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Can we clap again and again and again and again? Thank you so much. You're warming your seat already. I would like to call on Ivana. If I didn't pronounce the name well, Ivana, to join her on stage. Can we clap for her? She's a dynamic young girl and a pioneer undergraduate student in cybersecurity and digital forensic at Public Cameroon Higher Institute of Entrepreneurship and Technology. She is an experienced mobile app developer and holds a higher national diploma in software engineering. Can we clap again for this young girl? We equally called on the Bochi and founder of Portabe University, Dr. Emi Portabe, to warm his seat. And we call on our media guru, Dr. Bene Bumagana, to join equally because he's going to be leading the speakers. He's the moderator here. And I'm handing the mic. Thank you.
Let me, in the next few minutes, according to the program, say a word about mentoring. Are there people here who do not understand English? Who comprehend juste le français? So I can go on. Mentorship, when they talk about mentorship, I'm already calling her doctor because she's about to become a doctor very soon. Lucy said mentorship is now unique, it's now a very personal level, and that is very, very important. Mentorship is the relationship between a very experienced person and somebody who is not very experienced. The person who is very experienced is passing over experience and knowledge to the person who is not experienced in a very organized style. So mentors, they stand as role models. They provide guidance and they share their experience. Very quickly, if you study, you will know that a certain guy called Warren Buffett is the one who mentored Bill Gates. He trained Bill Gates into what Bill Gates is today. So every time you listen to Bill Gates will say, Warren Buffett told me that. Warren Buffett told me that. The person who mentors you is very, very important. If you look at, I don't know if you're interested in art, Leonardo da Vinci mentored a young guy. That guy is called Francesco Merzi. When Leonardo da Vinci died, they gave everything to Francesco Merzi. It is the same thing with those who have studied philosophy. Socrates mentored a guy called Plato. And Socrates taught Plato that you don't just sit. As a philosopher, you must think. So Plato carried out the whole idea of thinking, which came from Socrates, and that is why a certain guy called René Descartes, if you know a guy about René Descartes, René Descartes got into thinking and started even doubting his own self, and at the end of the day, René Descartes said, Je pense donc je suis. I think therefore that I am, in what has been considered as the Cartesian doubt. That comes through by mentoring. For those of you who go to church, you notice that Moses mentored Joshua. Moses took the children of Israel out of Egypt, but it is Joshua who took the children of Israel into the promised land. The person who mentors you to become greater than him. Jesus mentored 12, and he told the 12 that the things that I do, you will do greater things. Elijah mentored a guy called Elisha, and when Elijah was gone, he says that Elisha received double. Your mentor helps you to receive double of what they have already received. Mentoring begins at the level of the family, as parents here. It begins with you. What you do with your children, you mentor them through the value system that you want. If you don't do that, the children are going to become very, very wayward. So a mentor helps you to unlock your full potential. You know, what you're supposed to be, what you have, a mentor will help you for that to come out. A mentor is going to help you towards economic and workforce development. I started working in CRTV and knew nothing on television. You know, they trained us from the university, I did radio. But here was I getting into television. How was I going to do television? I was mentored by a certain man called Robert Ekukule, who is a television guru. Everything I know on television comes from Robert Ekukule. I went to sports, I did not know anything about sports. Radio sports, I was taught by a certain power called George Fontano. George Fontano is dead. When George Fontano was going on retirement, he called for me in his office. He did not give me anything. He carried his scripts that he has been writing on radio for years. He told me that this is what I'm giving to you as my own son. Take. Every time you be on radio and you're successful, I will say that I have succeeded. A mentor without a successor has failed in his mission. And that is what Unique is doing today. They say a success without a successor is failure. When I went on television, I had a certain guy called Fonichekie. Fonichekie mentored me on such that even when I'm commenting a match, he will send me a message and tell me that you are pronouncing that thing wrong, my friend. What do you think that you're doing? I finished a match and I came out. People were appreciating me, and then he called for me in his office. He shouted at me like a king. So people are talking to you that you're happy, that you did well, you did well. This is where you went wrong. This is where you went wrong. That is the work of a mentor. So a mentor, especially for community building and social cohesion, Lucy talked about it. That is what they do. To build networking, to strengthen community ties and provide support and network. It is mentoring provides for you a safe place to express your feelings and to learn. Students, mentees break negative cycle. That is, if you're a student, you have fears, a mentor helps you take away the fears. A mentor will help you stand strong. A mentor is somebody that will help you stand on his shoulder and see the things that he could not see even when he was still when he was still there. I don't have much time since I have just 5 minutes. Mentors play a great role to shape next generation of leaders.
in the society. So now, who is your mentor? I need to be very clear about that. A mentor is not your friend. If you want to look for a friend, don't go to him. He's not your friend. Can I even go deeper? A mentor is not your boyfriend. He's not your sugar daddy. If somebody starts mentoring you and emotional issue starts coming inside, it's no longer mentoring. A mentor will not allow you for a lady to come in his presence dressed carelessly. You tell you go back, go away. Go and dress well before you come. A mentor is a teacher, is somebody who sees your future that you do not see, and he is hard on you to attain that future. I just told you that I'll finish the match during the African Nations Cup in Cameroon. I was Benin Bumag and I was everywhere. People were congratulating me. I was feeling like a star, but from the check called me and said, "See, be very careful. Don't be thinking that young guys are praising you everywhere. You think that you're happy. You have not arrived. You still have a long walk to learn, my friend." He was so hard until I went back and I thought, like, Lord have mercy. But he helped me. That's the work of a mentor. The mentor is not there to caress your ego, to praise you. He is there to hit you hard so that you can grow. When I got into CRTV, I started doing a program called Discovery. Cameroon Tribune was so interested. They came and did the article of me. Young reporter, I have an article, they did an article of me on Cameroon Tribune. He said, look at it. I said, now you're happy. You have not even done anything, you're happy. He kept the thing aside, he said, go and walk. That same day I entered into the lift, I was with Dr. George Iwane. He says, what is your name? I said, Benin Bumagana. He says, nobody even knows that name. If I call George Iwane, people will bow, cars will stop. They don't know your name. So my friend, stop smiling and thinking that you are not doing anything. You have to work hard until your name becomes that. A mentor is not there to pitch you till you're doing well. No, a mentor is there to hit you hard until you produce results. We talk about Nigerians. A Nigerian does business here and then he goes to Lagos. He gets a small boy. The small boy comes and the boy is not sleeping on good mattress. Sometimes he sleeps on the floor, Dr. Tako. He sleeps on the floor for 3 years. Then they give him carton. He sleeps on the carton for 2 years. That's 5. Then they give him a tiny mattress on the 6th year. And on the 7th year, he has studied for 7 years. They do what they call the settling. They call him and they give him his own business. Even when they give him his own business, they put him in Njagi. Go and ask Babilike people what they do. And they say every month, you must contribute 250,000 francs in that Njagi. When you get the Njagi, you don't take it home alone. You carry it to Oga. The Njagi is 5 million. Oga will tell you that this is how you put it in business. This is how you put it in business. This is how you put it in business. And Igbo man may be working with a Tata shoe, with his shoes that Tata, but he has 10 million francs in his account. Today they have money everywhere. The problem in South Africa, they talk about xenophobia. It's not nothing xenophobia. It's that the Nigerians have come and they have taken over the market. They have a lot of money and they have taken over the South African women. And they say the South Africans are angry. And now they say it's xenophobia. That was just to make you laugh. So a mentor is there rigorous to teach you. That's the second thing. The next thing is that as a mentee, you must be accountable to a mentor, Dr. Lucy. You must be accountable. If Dr. Lucy is mentoring, it means that you have to explain everything you do, step by step. Because you know where you're going to, you submit to doing it. My brother, let me tell you a story. I had a guy in the university who said to me as mentor, I grew up in a more religious environment, and mentoring in a religious environment is very strict. He got into my room one day and he saw I bought something, so there was something like a chain on it. So I came and taught him and left the thing on the table. When he entered my room, he was like, you are a finished man. You left Bamenda to come to the University of Goya, now you are going out with girls. Your academics is finished. You are dead. You will not pass. You will fail. You don't have a pass degree. Nobody is ever going to look at you with a pass degree. I said, why? He said, that is a woman's chain. What is the woman's chain doing on your table? I had to take off and to explain myself that is not a woman's chain.
this is something I bought and this. If you have to go to a mentor, you have to be accountable. In the mentoring program, everybody must be accountable with what they do, and I think at that level, there is going to be success. Thank you very much. When you come, my friend.
5 minutes, please.
Okay. 5 minutes, we have to talk about
And we close for the
mentoring, which is an aspect that you need to start in. Let me ask Dr. Lucy. You started talking about it, but it was in such a rush. You are moving now from this mentoring program, and you're doing individual, putting individual mentoring. And we're just talking about how important is it. Now, talk to us how this is going to be different from, the mentoring program that you had before.
Okay, so our mentorship program has been existing for 9 years now. For the first 8 years, we did kind of a group mentorship where we had 100 high school students together from different institutions and different parts of Cameroon. We brought them together. We started from 1 week to 3 days, and then we had experts talk to them on career readiness, on leadership, on entrepreneurship. But now we have realized that what is happening in the world today, they need a more personalized mentorship program. And what we used to do as a group, their parents were not involved. But with our new structure, we really start from the school. We go to the school, especially the guidance counselors, who will help us pick out those students who really need the mentorship. And from there, we move to their parents. We have a whole structure. We have a 12-week program. So the mentorship is like mentoring the children and their parents at the same time. Because we have a program that we follow with the children and with their parents. Because we believe that this program is just for 12 weeks and their parents are supposed to help them. After that 12 weeks, they need to understand the mentorship. And it's not just mentorship in general, it's career mentorship.
No. In that case, therefore, what the school does is just for 12 weeks, you said?
Yes, it's a 12 weeks program.
12 weeks program. But now you are involving the parents so that after that, the mentoring program can continue out of school.
Yes.
But the school generates, the school starts it for them. Tell me, since the mentoring program started, what level of success have you gotten so far? I mean, as far as feedback is concerned.
Okay, I would say that for the past 9 years, we have been able to train plus 600 students from our mentorship program. And one of I would say, our key performance that I would like to talk about is the fact that the mentees become mentors. Like Ivana sitting here, she was once a mentee under our program, but today she's a mentor, which shows that. Which shows that the program is successful. And another impact is that all our mentees, they have been able to, I would say 90% of them, they have been able to have a clear direction of what they want. If they want to pursue a particular career, if they want to pursue entrepreneurship, they know. So when we look at the outcome after the mentorship, then we know that it's successful. And that's why we have transitioned the program now to a more personalized mentorship, because we are reaching right up to 100% success.
Wow, that's great. Please, can you give a hand to Dr. Now, before she says something, I want you to clap for her because now she really doesn't want to talk. And then we sit you somewhere where there's an AC. So, first of all, she's shy, and then now there's AC. Please, one more. As somebody who has gone through the mentorship program, tell us how important that has been for you up to this moment.
I would say it has been very good. It has been very personal, because if I'm mentoring someone, that's also helped to shape me. Because I also have a mentor. It gives me that dual perspective, gives me
the feeling to know how it feels to mentor someone, and also how to feel, to know how to feel to mentor someone, and also to know how it feels to be mentored by another person, right? So, and for the students, most of them are getting clarity. Some parents, because before we started the mentorship, I had to reach out to the parents. Some parents were inviting, some were welcoming, some didn't want to hear. They don't want to hear anything about their child. You're not mentor, they don't know. You don't even want to hear what you have to say. So you don't know that's small. They don't know the importance of mentorship. They're not aware how important this thing is. And to some students, you talk to them, they just tell you, oh, I don't really know. I don't know what to do after school. I just want to go to Koya. I'll rent my friend. We'll be living our lives. I'm like, okay. So after that, what happens next? I've also been in that type of situation. But I'm so happy that after all of that, most of them are getting clarity. They know what they want. Some of them are going online, learning skills that matter, and also recession of universities that will help them in the future.
Thank you very much. Clap for God has said something very important, that there's 3 stages there from what she has said. You are mentored, and then you mentor some other person. So at every stage in your life, you have a mentor, and then you too, you are mentoring somebody. It makes sure that success continues. That's what you were saying, doctor. So you have somebody who is successful, who has taught you, and you too, you're teaching somebody who is successful. Like we said, success is not success until there is a successor. Now let's get Dr. Kotabe. You have mentored so many, as a matter of fact. That's why I got to know you. You've mentored so many. Now tell us how it has been, this experience, and what are the common pitfall, the quick turn-off for most of these persons that you have mentored.
How it has been, it's been a learning experience, because every time you teach, you learn. So just like Dana was saying, every time you mentor someone, you gain insight into how they think, how they feel. Now I can easily understand young people because I've been able to mentor so many of them. I understand their thinking patterns, I understand their difficulties, I understand their dreams, I understand them because I've been able to do this for so many years. This has been for me a great benefit. But also for the young ones, there are a lot of them. I think that besides you, everybody here has been mentored by me, and it has been very rewarding for me and for them as well. But the difficulties, the pitfalls. Many times people come to you with some preconceived ideas about mentorship. What is it that they want from you? So they reach out sometimes and say, I want you to mentor me. But this mentorship they want is something that they have designed in their minds. So it takes a lot sometimes to break all those stereotypes, and start mentoring them. And you have said a lot of things about mentorship. The mentor is not your friend. So because our culture doesn't emphasize on this, so many times the mentees get to lose an opportunity because they think that they want to be friends. Their mentor, and if you know me, you know that. So sometimes that has been the pitfall. I regretted I've been able to see some people lose that opportunity because they wanted this kind of more friendship, I should say, which I should not give as a mentor. But overall, it's been very rewarding.
So I think we should talk to parents and to the young people. I see most of them, all of it is here are young people. Every young person here should have somebody they look up to as a role model, as a mentor, to push them to that place they are going to. But now the problem are the parents. Sometimes the parents are the ones trying to block. Like you said, the parents are, why would I give money to go for a further training when I've already paid fees?
Yes, unfortunately, yes, sometimes the parents are the problem, but just because they are not informed, just because they are not educated. Personally, when I'm doing this one-on-one mentorship and I talk to some parents, also parents have asked me what is mentorship. So the parents themselves don't know. And this is why this format is working, because we start by educating the parents. In fact, we mentor the parents. so that they can also continue that mentorship when we stop. But I need to say this. All the people I mentor, the young people I mentor, I don't stop being their mentors after 12 months. I don't stop. The longer you stay with me, and some of them here who have been with me for 4 years, and they have been my mentees. I continue to do that. So parents, understand that every young person needs a mentor. Every young person needs a mentor. You are supposed to be their mentors at home, but let us be their career mentors because we understand this world of work, because we teach them, we interact with them. And I have to say, even though I encourage young people to open up to their parents, sometimes it's really not just the case. All of us have been young. There are things that my mentees can tell me they will not tell their parents.
Of course.
So let us mentor your children. Make sure that also you know the mentors. You know who is mentoring your child, because that has a huge impact. He has given a lot of examples here about his journey, his career journey, even his personal and spiritual one. Mentors played a great role. So get to know the mentors, but encourage your children to accept to be mentored. And we'll expect that as parents also you reach out to us to help mentor your children. We're here for that.
Okay, I think let's conclude. If you have any question about the mentoring program after this, ask Madame Lucy. She's going to be able to explain more to you. But let's say it again. This is innovative education. We are going through a process. The Ministry of Higher Education does not just want university education to be the way it is. He wants university education to be designed in a way where when you leave, you will not be depending on somebody to recruit you. You get a job for yourself. But to do that, you need to be mentored in that area. Dr. Fotabe said, the parents mentor from home, the career mentoring is done here. You will not remain in FUNIC forever. When you go out of FUNIC, sit under somebody who has succeeded in that area, learn from the person. It may be difficult. It's not your boyfriend or your girlfriend, but it's somebody who can listen to you, know where your weaknesses are, help you to get to a great level of success, and then you get it. So, thank you again very much. Can we give a great clap to Madame Lucy, to my friend Hannah, for coming? Thank you.
Ovation, please. Can we give all of us? Can we clap as we are standing? Let the whole vibrate. So our class, please. Can we keep clapping for the picture time, for the picture is cool. Thank you so much for your enriching. I'm sure we learned something. Thank you. It's almost 9:30 p.m. We didn't see the time pass because it was really interesting with good speakers. At least we're going back, especially the parents, with a lot of knowledge on how to guide their parents, children, on how to guide them in their education and shape the future generation. Can we clap again for this wonderful seminar that is starting, and we're ending with music. We are ending. Picture with everyone, please, in front. Group picture with everyone in the hall. Can we come forward, please?